Hey everyone, Michael here. Hope you guys are all having a good day. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a brand new strategy that I created to help you guys make more money trading in the markets. I made a shorter version of this video, a few days ago and posted it. I'll put the link down in the comments if you guys want to see more of a fast-paced video. This one's going to really walk you through everything nice and slow. That way you guys have a full understanding of what you guys need to be doing in order to make some really consistent profits, which will grow that small account you probably have into something much larger without having to take very reckless trades in order to really get there, okay? Because when you take those reckless trades, usually you kind of just and everything goes downhill, right? Hey guys, before we dive into the strategy, I've got something special for all you crypto enthusiasts out there. Today's video is sponsored by Tatbit, a global cryptocurrency exchange that's been blowing up recently as Binance has been going downhill. Ever hunted for a specific token and just couldn't find it on other exchanges? Well, Tatbit has got you covered. They feature hundreds of tokens for you to buy, trade, and explore. But what really sets Tatbit apart? Speed and reliability. We're talking hundreds of thousands of transactions per second. So when you decide to sell, you can be confident you're getting the exact price you see on the screen. No surprises. And for my awesome viewers, Tatbit is offering something you won't want to miss. Use my link in the description below and you'll get a whopping 10% back on your trades. Yep, you heard right, 10% back. So why wait? Head over to tatbit.com and make your crypto trading experience a smooth one. So, one thing before we get started, the green line on your screen is a 20 moving average, the blue line is a 50 moving average, and then the yellow line right here is a 200 moving average, all right? For now, I'm going to hide them, but I will bring them back. I just want you guys to see exactly what I'm adding here. I want you guys to come over here to indicators, metrics, and strategies, and the first indicator you guys are going to add is the Smart Money Concepts indicator from LuxAlgo. It's going to be right here. Now, there are a few ones that are like locked around here. The one you guys are looking for is Smart Money Concepts LuxAlgo. It is 100% free, which is the reason why I'm choosing it. And if you guys want to, you can add a gold star to add it to your favorites. Okay, I'm going to click on this once. After this, I want you guys to come over here and I want you guys to go into the settings for this indicator. There are a few things I want you guys to change first. First, I want you guys to go over here and I want you guys to click colored candles. What's going to happen here is you guys are going to see when it has like a buy signal or the change of character, to be more precise, it's going to make all the candles after that go green. When it has a red change of character, it's going to make them red. Okay. Now, if you click anywhere on the screen while you guys have this, it'll turn off. Okay. If you guys want the colors to come back, just click on the indicator again and you guys are going to be okay. Afterwards, I want you guys to go down here. I want you guys to have show internal structure on. Leave all this the same. You guys are going to turn on the confluence filter. That way you're just not seeing multiple signals here. And then you guys are going to have the internal label size be normal. And that's just going to make the size of these letters larger. Remember, I'm zoomed in at 175% and these are still kind of small. When I go back to 100%, they're still going to be very small, okay? Next, we're going to come over here. We're not going to change anything except for making this, again, normal size. We're not going to show the swing points. We're not going to show strong, weak, or high lows. If you guys are brand new to trading and you just want to see those high levels, it's kind of just a level of resistance, if you will, you guys can keep those on. But I tend to find that it kind of clutters everything up, and I just don't like it personally, okay? Next, I want you guys to make sure that the internal order blocks are on, both of them. And here's something that's going to be up to your preference. I have each of these set to 5. Normally, I will have each set to 3 or 2. That way, my chart isn't too cluttered. I can see the order blocks here, but since I don't have too many, I might be missing this order block that's right there, okay? That's just something you may want to consider. Now, I'm going to keep on going back down. We're making sure that show weak, high, low is off, show swing points is off. Order blocks are 3 or whatever number you want to. You guys can have equal, high, low on. I tend to not have this on. You know, if I were to zoom in right here, you guys can see a few of them. You can see how it's just kind of cluttering stuff up. I don't really need them, but maybe you guys do. I can see there's a level of resistance here. I don't need this indicator to necessarily tell me what it is. So for me, I'm going to be turning it off. Fair value gaps, let's not worry about that right now. We're going to have this be turned off. Because this is turned off, you don't have to worry about this. Everything else can be staying off. If you guys want to have something on, maybe I might say have the weeklies on and the dailies on. And then from here, I'd probably make these white just so you can see them on the screen. My background is black, so if you have a white background, maybe you just want to have them be black, okay? And basically what these are, it's just showing you the high and low for the day and the high and low for the week. And usually those will be levels of resistance that you guys will have to pay attention to, okay? In this circumstance, Bitcoin had a huge move because of some news. It broke through that resistance very easily. Even if we were to go back over here to the 5-minute chart, you can see it only got stopped for like a few seconds, and then we continued to rally up. But you can see the effect it had on the chart regardless, okay? That's something important because people would actually buy that breakout, and then you could actually make money from here to here. If for whatever reason you missed this first big boom, you still have a reason to buy. And I think that will help some of you guys out because sometimes you're afraid of FOMO. There's a logical way to enter into a rally, and this is part of it, okay? Now, after you've done that, everything else on here does not need to be changed. You can add premium discount zones if you want to, but really I just don't use them too much. It's just showing you levels of support like right here and levels of resistance. You guys have eyes, but if you guys are very brand new and you want them, again, feel free to add them on there. Those are going to be levels of support and resistance for you guys to take into consideration. Next, what you guys are going to be adding on is a SuperTrend indicator. Now, for this one, for whatever reason, you guys have to make sure SuperTrend is all one word because you guys are looking for a specific one that is not made by TradingView, but it's made by a really talented guy that makes a lot of indicators that are a little bit more customizable, okay? This one that you guys are going to be looking at is from Kivon. It should be at the top of the community scripts, excuse me, if you guys made it into one word. If you guys make it into 2 words, all of a sudden, it's not going to show up, okay? So just make sure it is all one word. There we go. Afterwards, you guys are going to see a whole bunch of buy and sell signals on your chart, and it's going to be a little bit more cluttered, but trust me, you guys are going to want to have these on here. But you guys can see we're having a lot of signals right now. This signal was a failure because of a banking crisis. This one was kind of a failure because of what happened with Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. This one was a failure and so forth. So we're going to make this a little bit more nuanced. So we're having less signals overall, but the signals that we do get are usually going to be a little bit more trustworthy here, and it'll help out with the totality of the strategy, okay? So I want you guys to go to settings, and I want you guys to go over here for an ATR period. I want you guys to add 50. I want you guys to come over here to ATR multiplier, and I want you guys to make this 5.1. Afterwards, the sources, that's the kind of the math that goes into this. You guys are going to be looking at a few different things here. Basically, this is open, high, low, close. This is high, low, and the number 2 represents how many things I've been using for this calculation. So high, low, close, 3, that's 3 things. High, open, high, low, close is 4. You guys get what I'm saying, okay? You guys are either going to choose between high-low 2 and high-low close 3. It really depends on what you guys are looking for here. I tend to like to get the signal just a little bit earlier, so normally I'm just going to go with the high-low here, okay? It's very subtle changes. It's not going to destroy you if you find something you don't like. It's just something that say, hey, maybe if you guys are looking at a 4-hour chart or a 30-minute chart, maybe you guys might want to tweak this just a little bit, okay? Now, you guys are going to hit okay. If you guys like it like this, you guys are going to stay here with the SuperTrend. If you guys don't like this fog that you see right here, you guys can always come over here to style and change it up, okay? So if I were to go over here and I say, hey, I don't want to deal with this uptrend highlighter, now it's gone. If I don't want to deal with the downtrend highlighter, now it's gone. And now maybe I don't want to have the bars here for the uptrend or the downtrend. I just want to have the buy signals, and that way my screen is maybe just a little bit less cluttered. You could even take away the dot points if you guys wanted to. Excuse me, guys. My phone's going off like crazy right now. But if you guys see that, maybe that's a little bit better for you for now, because I think most of you guys are going to be new, or maybe you guys aren't really making as much money just yet. I'm going to keep everything on here just so you guys can have a better idea of what you guys are seeing, since this is a tutorial. We're going to go back over here to OK. Next up, we're going to add some more of the fun stuff here. Now we're going to be looking at MACDs. MACDs are very important for you guys to understand. There's a lot of parts about them, and we'll talk about those in a few seconds. But what I want you guys to go do very fast is come over here, go to settings for it, and I want you guys to change the colors of the lines, or excuse me, not the colors, but the sizes, so you guys can see them just a little bit better. Make them as thick as possible here, and it'll make it easier when we zoom back out to actually see what's going on. Now, if you guys see this MACD right here, you guys are going to see some stuff. You're going to see that Bitcoin had a very big move, and that caused a crossover right here. And this was a big, gigantic trap. All right. To mitigate these types of traps that people see in the market, we're going to be adding a little bit more lag onto the MACD. Okay. So we're going to come over here back to the settings, and we're going to change some of this stuff up. These are my personal settings that I've kind of come up with the help of ChatGPT, kind of going back and forth, testing some stuff out. And here are the numbers that I found out that work best for me. For the fast length, we're going to be at 20. For the slow length, we're going to be at 40. And for the source, we're going to keep it at close, but you guys can go to high-low too if you would like. All right. I tend to find that maybe if you guys are going underneath the 4-hour mark, maybe the high-low close or maybe the high-low close 3 are actually okay choices there. Afterwards, for signal smoothing, we're going to be looking at 12. Oscillator MA type, we're going to be leaving all of this the same. Histogram, all of it's going to be the same. Now, you can see what happened here is we didn't actually get that crossover buy signal because we added a little bit of lag to it. And I don't like to fall for false signals. I like to be very confident about the trades I make because I am a very conservative trader. It's just who I am, how I was brought up, because I started with very little money. And after I lost my little bit of money, I really had to buckle down and say, hey, no more losing. If I lose, I'm only losing a little bit. But if I win, I'm making a good amount of money. That's my thought process for the strategy, okay? So there was no false signals, and you guys can see there was no false signal here as well. And when it did eventually say sell, you could actually say, hey, it said open up your shorts, look for more bearish activity right here, right? And that's what you're kind of looking for at this point. Now, let's move this back down a little bit here. We're going to actually shrink this MACD just for now, and we're going to open up another indicator. This one is going to be called the stochastic. It's going to be right here. You guys can add a star to it if you guys want to. You guys can click right here. You guys don't have to worry about the RSI one. I would just stick to the regular stochastic. They look pretty much the same, to be honest, but you can see how the math is a little bit different here as well. I don't necessarily use the RSI too much, or it's just usually like an extra thing for me. If you guys want to add the RSI, I would just add the regular RSI, not the stochastic RSI, okay? Next, we're going to come back over here and we're going to mess with the settings for this one as well. I want you guys to go over here first and just make those lines as thick as possible, just so you guys can see the K line is blue and the D line is orange. The main point of this is that you want to see the blue line cross above or below the orange line in a specific zone, which in this case, you can see the overbought zone is anything above this kind of bluish blob in the middle, and the oversold zone is anything below that, okay? Now, just like before, you guys can see there's a lot of false signals because every time there's a crossover, that wasn't anything crazy. This wasn't anything crazy. So in order to fix that, we're going to be adding a little bit more lag here as well, and we're going to be putting some personal settings that I like to see. Now, for the K length, we're going to be adding a lot. We're going to be making it go from 14 to 60. From the K smoothing, it's going to go to stay at 1, excuse me. And the D smoothing is going to be at 16. And you're going to see how much that changed, right? Not nearly as many false signals. They're still in there because this is a cryptocurrency and we're kind of doing a little bit of give and take. We still want to see that move come in, right? So the point of this one, and we'll kind of go into a little bit more, is we're waiting for the crossover to occur from the blue line crossing over the orange line, okay? But the lag is here to kind of hold us back just a little bit. And this is where maybe if you guys trade options, it can be a little bit more helpful for you. Or maybe if you guys don't want to be holding positions for a very long time, this can be helpful for you guys as well. So you guys are waiting to open that trade. You guys are waiting until the orange line gets back into this bluish neutral territory, okay? Below 80 basically on this specific one. And you can see if you actually wait for it to come back over here, you also don't get this weird little signal like, hey, we had a false signal going up as well, which can be kind of confusing, especially because we have a buy signal right here. And this is something we'll be talking about next few minutes. But if you wait to have that crossover and you wait for it to get back in here, you're not holding as long before the big move comes. Otherwise, you're waiting for like weeks and weeks and weeks. You know, now you're just waiting for a little bit, not as much time, still a while, but at least you are more confident that the move is coming soon. I think that's the big point here. Again, we have the crossover happen right here. And we wait for the orange to get in there. And you guys are going to be fine at that point as well right here. But I just need you guys to understand, this one is going to be maybe the most finicky of all the indicators I give you, because you can see the crossover happen right here, but you see how it was in the orange territory beforehand, right? This is one of those times where maybe you don't even have to wait for the orange to get back in here, because by the time you did, it's not looking as good. Especially because if you zoom out, you can also see Bitcoin was at a large level of resistance. A little bit of common sense is going to come in here. And again, we'll be talking about that a little bit later on, okay? Next, we're going to be adding one last indicator, and that one's going to be the squeeze indicator. And I can't spell squeeze properly. There we go. All right. So it's going to be the squeeze momentum indicator by LazyBear. This guy is one of the best on TradingView. You guys should follow him if you get the chance. He does come out with a lot of cool indicators that can help you out. And a lot of them are made to make trading just a little bit more simple. And they will use skills that you guys should be using if you guys are reading books or watching YouTube videos. A lot of the skills that people like me teach, they kind of apply to indicators like this as well, okay? So, a couple things here. It's hard to see, but there are black crosses on the screen, but my screen of background is of course black, so you guys cannot see them as well. And you guys can also see there's some gray ones here as well. We're going to be changing these up a little bit. Oops, I went to the Pine editor when I should not have. There we go, back over here to settings. We're going to go over here to style. I'm going to change two things, only two things. Go to color 1, black. We're going to be changing these to the color red. All right, now you can see the crosses on the back. They are now red. I'm going to turn the opacity all the way up so it's a little bit easier to see them, and I'm going to make them just a little bit thicker. Not all the way to 4, but just to the third one right here. And you see how they pop on the background a little bit? I'm going to do the exact same thing for the gray, but now we're turning it to green, opacity all the way up, and we're going to be turning it to the level 3. What this does is it just makes it a little bit easier. I want to reiterate, we're at 175% zoom in, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to see it once we actually zoom back out, okay? Now, we have our 3 indicators, we have our smart money concepts, and we have our SuperTrend indicator here. So we have everything we need to start going over the strategy, okay? Now, before we go over the strategy in totality, I just want to mention a couple things here. When it comes to the MACD, if you guys haven't figured out how to use it just yet, make sure you guys understand that you guys are looking for the crossover. So you guys are looking for when the blue line crosses above the orange line. That's going to be that big buy signal. We've already talked about the stochastic here. But the one thing you guys should understand about a lot of these are going to be divergences of things of that nature, okay? Especially when it comes to weekly trading. I don't know if you guys have really done this too much. You can see Bitcoin's having that huge crossover right now, and that doesn't bode well for Bitcoin over the next few weeks, but bear with me here. You can see a few different things here no matter what you guys are looking at, but the big thing you guys should also be looking for is divergences, okay? One of the divergences that we've been seeing over the past few months is, let me find a ray here. There you go. We've been seeing lower highs here. So, you know, a high, then a lower high when it comes to these types of oscillators. And then, but we've also seen Bitcoin making higher highs in that same time frame. That's what's known as a bearish divergence. Oops, I made this tool for you, but it just switched over to a video for some reason. So let me go find it again. There we go. All right. So this is the tool right here. So I want you guys to look at this. I'm actually going to hide my head here very fast just so you can see this because I want you guys to pay attention to this a lot. And there we go. All right, so we got a bullish divergence and bearish divergences and basically what it takes for that to occur, okay? So what did we just talk about? We talked about the price of Bitcoin having a higher high, but the oscillator having a lower high. And what ended up happening? Bitcoin actually fell down. So take a screenshot of this, copy it, whatever you guys need to do. It's free for you guys to become better traders. And you know, you can see that lower high on the oscillator, higher highs, the oscillators will usually end up winning, okay? So let's back up a little bit here. This is the strategy, and this is how you guys are going to use it. Now, what we're going to do is actually go all the way back to 100%. That way I can actually see the whole chart. I can see everything going on, and it's going to make my life a little bit easier. If there's one thing you can make a little bit smaller here, it is going to be the one on the bottom here, the squeeze, because all you're really looking for are the green and red crosses, and you guys are going to be looking for divergences within these types of moves, okay? So don't worry about it too much, but you guys can maybe even see a few different divergences here, but I'm not going to go too deep into that one right now. All right, squeeze this down just a little bit because I still want to see the chart most of the time. And if you guys feel like you need to make it a little bit nicer, there's always these little buttons on the right-hand side now. This is actually a new part of the update. Well, if you guys hit the A, it automatically kind of stretches it out as much as it can, so it still looks pretty good. We're going to make the MACD a little bit smaller here. And then boom, we're going to hit A and everything looks really nice afterwards, okay? Now, you can actually see the divergence from here to here and how the price came down after that divergence. Very crucial, okay? Now, here's what you guys are looking for. It's almost like having a simple checkbox theory, okay? So we're waiting for this to happen, this to happen, this to happen, and this to happen, and boom, I am more confident in making that trade, and I will be making some good money while I do so, okay? Now, this is a daily chart. You can use this on weekly charts or 4-hour charts. If you guys have everything going good for you and you have all these buy signals on the daily chart, well, you guys can be more confident doing your day trades in those directions as well, okay? Because the overall momentum is all saying we're going to go higher. And if you guys are looking at like a daily chart, primarily you guys are probably going to be holding for a few days. But if you guys want to be day trading, which I think a lot of you guys want to make that money just a little bit faster, you guys can be confident that, hey, if the overall momentum for the next few days is going to be going up, 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 well, why should I take my time to short? Because the overall trend is that, hey, we're going to keep on going up. So even if things don't work out in your favor, all you have to do is necessarily hold and make sure your stop loss doesn't hit, and you guys are going to be fine, okay? So let's go over a few things here, and let's just kind of zoom in a little bit more so you can see what's been happening over the past few weeks, okay? So what I like to do is I like to just have a few settings that say buy, buy, buy. It can be hard to find those sometimes, but you know, we find what we can, okay? And that's why I'm a little bit more of a conservative trader. There are times when we have trades like this where we have a change of character that says come down. We have a change of character up here that says go up. And you can see how neither of these is actually working for us, okay? And if you guys have ever watched any tutorial on YouTube, I think they all have these moments where the indicator is just not working, but they don't really explain to you how to kind of mitigate those bad things happening, if that makes sense. So here's my opportunity to kind of show you guys what nobody else really wants to talk about, because not every indicator is going to be 100% accurate, but you have to use that common sense in your head in order to make sure you don't fall for this type of stuff, okay? So what do we have right here? You guys can see this green fog right here. That means we have a super trend saying buy. We also have the change of character here that says buy. Okay, you can see it breaking out of this previous high here. That's saying buy as well. But what are we looking at here as far as these oscillators that really show us which way the momentum is going? We see the momentum has been coming down for a while. We also see that we have a large bearish divergence here where we're going down, but the price continues to go up. All right, right there, you do not want to take on this trade, okay? Right there, you do not want to take on the trade. What we have instead here at the bottom, right here, is another change of character. Well, we don't have a crossover saying buy that, or assume you sell that or buy that right there. We see the crossover happening right here, not really telling you to buy this right here, or excuse me, sell this right here. And we're not having a green on our charts, which is saying that we're not in a squeeze release, and so there's not really a good opportunity to actually go into that trade, okay? So when you guys look at the oscillators, it's going to help mitigate some of these false signals, because every indicator, every tool is going to have them. And as a trader, it's important that you guys do not rely only on these tools to make you money. As great as this LuxAlgo one is, and it is freaking great, it is still not going to be 100% accurate. So it's up to you guys to make sure that when it fails, I don't know, maybe 5-10% of the time, which is not a lot for a trader, trust me, you are still able to make money there, okay? If we go back over here, you can see this one came back down. You can see the momentum was coming down. The momentum was coming down. We weren't looking at too much volatility here, which is why it's red. And you can see the buy signal right here at the same time with the super trend. If you guys wanted to, you guys could have shorted that. But again, would you have? That's only a couple days, and it's really not making you too much profit. I think that's what people need to remember about Bitcoin, is it's not like it's very volatile all the time. A lot of times we're just kind of going sideways and being boring these days, okay? So here's a few more things if we want to go back in time a little bit more, just so you guys can see how this is used. And we can put this up with a stock too in a few seconds, okay? So let's focus more on the MACD again. We had the MACD crossover over here. That was your first big good signal, okay? We had a change of character here, but what happened? We were still in the sell signal, so this one didn't really bode well for us. You would have had to wait a long time for something really not that good. This change of character not really working out for us because we have an order block down here. Why short into a level of support? You want to short once we break down below that support. And then you can see the momentum is still going up, so you really don't want to short here. Over here, what's going on? We have the change of character right here. So if I click on this very fast, you're going to see it turn green, right? Green, good. The buy signal comes right here. We have the momentum. We have the momentum right here where the orange is inside, and we have the green crosses coming over here. So you could buy here if you want to. If you guys don't require every single thing to be green before you buy, you could technically buy this somewhere right in here, okay? Now, as far as I'm concerned, I would have probably just bought a little bit earlier, but if you guys are new to trading and you just want to make sure for 100%, like this is going to work, this is going to work, this is going to work in a, like 99%, 98%, like a really good time, then you might wait for all of them. The trouble is sometimes you guys will kick yourselves in the butt for buying around here and not here, while not understanding that you could have made a lot of money just trading from here to here, but the greed kicks in and you really just say, oh my God, next time I'm going to do it. And the next time you do it, you might not, it might not be as nice as this one that you're seeing on the screen right here, okay? Maybe we'll find one of those over the next few minutes, okay? Now, A few different things here, okay? That I really want you guys to pay attention to. When you guys are opening these trades like from here to here to here, or maybe even you guys just using the change of character, your stop losses have to be put at a respectable level. And if you're seeing a large move happen like this, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to actually find those stop loss points. So in this example right here, normally you guys are looking for the last large level of support. That would be right around here. So if you guys did buy right around here, let's just say right here for this example, your stop loss is going to be about 17%, which is very, very, very large and not really worth doing. So what you guys have to do is find another level of support that you guys may be looking at. In this case, it'd be right here. So in this circumstance, your stop loss is going to be 7%, but you see a rapid move happening, a very large move happening. All the oscillators are screaming buy. That's where you take your buy position, okay? And you could even see right here that this support level, excuse me, this resistance level, now going to be our support level, actually was an old level of support that we saw way back in October of 2022, okay? So you can use this with any time frame you guys want to. You guys can even use this with weekly charts if you guys would prefer. When it comes over to stuff like this, when we're using the weekly highs, the daily highs and stuff like that, you guys are probably going to be using this more on the maybe hourly time frames, 4-hour time frames and stuff like that. So if we were to go over here to the hourly time frame, I'm going to go to auto to make sure everything looks nice again, because sometimes it just has to be like that. You guys can see a few different things happening, right? We're still overall in a sell signal right here. See the change of character in the sell at the same exact time. You see that crossover that happened over here. You see that crossover that happened over here, and the orange line is now back in. And you see right here we had some greens right there. That's an okay opportunity to open up a short. And you can see the support that was there from with the weekly high, right? So this support, but we broke down below it, and boom. That's how it works. You can see over here. This is actually going to be interesting for you guys. You can see how the oscillator right here for the stochastic is kind of all over the place in the middle. That's okay. It was so crazy because Bitcoin had a big jump in news. But you can see we were still in a sell signal. The buy signal didn't come into right here. This is not going to always capture those really, really fast moves. You guys are going to have to be waiting for specific breakouts to occur. Which brings me to the next part of this tutorial, which is where, and just so you guys know, there was a crossover right beforehand, but it happens a little bit late because the move is so large. The next big thing here is that you guys have to understand that you guys are not just going to be using these types of indicators, excuse me. You guys are also going to be using moving averages, which I'm going to add back to the screen right here, right? So you can see the crossovers happening and things like that, right? Death cross, bad moves happen in the death cross, even though we were in uptrend. Common sense, but what do we have? The bearish divergence, the bearish move here, and you see the momentum slowing down here as well. Got to put it all together in totality, okay? You're going to have your own checklist probably, but after a while, it's just going to click in your head, okay? Next, afterwards, you guys are going to be using trend lines, Fibonacci levels, and things of that nature. So let me not get rid of that. Let me shrink all these down just temporarily, and then we're going to be adding a few different things on here. And this is just going to open up your eyes a little bit more. So we got rid of everything but the moving averages. We're really back to where we started. There's no more drawings on the screen. So going forward, let's add a trend-based Fibonacci extension from here to this high to this low. And wow, look at that resistance there. Look at that resistance there. Look at that resistance there and there. All right. Very useful tools to have, but if you have this on top of everything we just talked about, you guys will see that maybe I shouldn't buy even if the oscillators are saying, hey, we have momentum, or we see a squeeze release, or the stochastic saying go, or the MACD saying go. It'll just make you have a little bit more caution that you guys should have. So let's go back over here very fast. Let's add everything back on the screen, and let's go over here to the daily chart. Okay. Now, again, right here, there was a banking crisis. So that is important that you guys understand that. There was a lot of crazy news, and that's why we had this like really weird false sell signal right here. Even though all the momentum was still staying down, it was because of a banking crisis of all things, which I guess is happening these days, right? So you guys can see right here, you guys can see that there's a level of resistance. We managed to break through it, but we got knocked back down. And then, of course, afterwards, we broke out of it, got hit right here, and so forth, okay? This will help you find your exit positions. So in this circumstance, we had a bullish crossover right here, right as we were breaking out, a bullish crossover right here, right as we were, right before we broke out, I guess you could say, and we were still in a green squeeze right here. You can see the squeeze right there, going from red to green because there was a banking crisis. Then we kind of found that V-shaped recovery afterwards. So when you see all this stuff working out in your favor, you guys would be most likely to buy right here. But what's happening right there? You're at a major level of resistance. So what do? You probably come over here to the 1 hour chart. Go all the way back in time. I know it can be a little bit time exhausting to do this type of stuff, but I think it's what makes you guys the best traders you guys can be. And then, there we go. You can see this right here. See how it just broke out? You see how you change the character right there as well? That could be a good sign if the overall daily chart is still a buy. You guys don't have to worry about as much stuff actually hitting the buy signal on the 1 hour charts, the 2 hour charts, just so you guys know. But what did we have happen? We broke out. There was a breakout there. On the 1 hour chart, we had the momentum shift. We had the momentum shift over here on the stochastic. I know it's kind of small. And then we didn't really squeeze until over here. But if you wanted to do that squeezes at 8 o'clock at night. That happened right here. That could have been a good buying signal as well, or you could have just waited for the buy signal to kick in if you wanted to. But when you see the overall trend on the daily chart or the weekly chart is going in a certain direction, you guys don't have to worry about as much when it comes to the 1 hour chart or the 2 hour charts. That's going to help you guys out so much. I tend to find that a lot of people these days, they really only like to look at one time frame, and it's the time frame they're trading. Primarily, that happens to be the 15-minute charts quite a bit. So if I were to go back over here, and let's just go to where we are now, you guys can see those high, lows, and the Fibonacci levels and stuff like that. I'm going to take off the Fibonacci level just for now. But, they tend to only want to be here. And you can see the bullish crossover right there. You can see the bullish crossover right here. You can see the squeeze momentum indicator right there. You can see the buy signal right there. No change of character, but you see you have a lot of stuff going on. But what happened? You bought and nothing's happening. You know why? Because if you guys go over to the daily chart or the weekly chart, it's all going in the other way. Maybe even the 4 hour chart is even in the other way. Yeah, 4 hour chart still sell, change of character. The momentum is coming down, slowing, but still coming down. Over here, still coming down. Oops, I merged my MACD and stuff. That still coming down. The squeeze is still coming down. And that's why you have to be aware of what's happening on the larger time frames. I cannot stress this enough, okay? Now, let's go over here and let's just do something very simple. Let's go over here and do Tesla. Tesla's been very interesting over the past few days, I have to say. You guys are going to notice a lot more colors on the screen because stocks have after hours and pre-market hours. It's just what it is. Don't worry about it too much here. What I want you guys to do instead is just go over here to the daily chart just to make our lives a little bit easier, okay? So again, all the same indicators, everything's still the same. I'm going to go over here very fast and just click on the smart money so you guys can see the colors. So what are we looking at right here? We have a change of character. No sell signal just yet. But what do we have working for us? Well, oh, look at this. We have a bearish divergence. And what is this over here? Let me find that picture for you guys. Oh, do I still have that picture up? I do not. Let me go find it in my thing again. It's right here, so it's nice and easy. All right. So we have the divergence making a equal high, right? Oh, excuse me, the divergence, the also making an equal high, but we have the price making a higher high, excuse me. See how it's a higher high, but we're making an equal high right here? That's the divergence. Remember that, okay? It's going to be important. Again, this is on the daily chart. And so we're looking at a bearish move incoming. We have that first bearish move right here, okay? We have that sell signal right there. So we have one thing that says one sell, two sells, three sells plus the crossover. 3 sells over here because the bar gets over here. That's before the sell signal. So that's 4. And over here, we're all green. So that's 5. 5, 5, 5. Everything is good to go. All right. Now, if you wait for the super trend, look at that. If this is great for options, really good. Because you guys know options have a time decay, and time decay can really just crunch them down, especially if they have high implied volatility. And what happens? One day after you buy it, it's already starting to go down. 2 days. Let's say 2 days. 2 days after you already opened up that put position, the price is already coming back down, and that's great. But again, we can add common sense onto this, and we can see what's happening. So let's add a trend line right there. Okay. You might want to just trade the breakdown. Maybe that's easier. You can see how that's big, like boom, boom, boom. It's like 4 days of just going boom, boom, boom. If you guys want to be more aggressive, you guys can use that. On the other hand here, what else do we have? You guys can see we had this other trend line coming, and boom, we broke down, change of character there, and you guys can feel more confident about that. Or you guys can say, hey, we're looking at a death cross coming. Let's wait for the death cross. Moving averages come into effect, and it can make your trading days, trading life a lot easier. Now, one other thing you guys may want to use here as well, just to kind of make your lives a little bit easier, is again, Fibonacci tools like the Fib retracement, the Fib extension. So if you guys add this on here, well, then you guys can see, wow, look where it found support. Look where it found support. Look where it found support. And you're opening your position right here. So maybe you scale out one thing right here. Maybe you scale a little bit more right here. And what's your stop loss going to be if you're opening one up here? Your stop loss is going to be right up here, because that's the last big level where we kind of popped up a little bit, okay? Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I'm going to be making a lot more of them. I'm going to be doing a mix where I do these longer, more in-depth tutorials to help you guys out. But at the same time, if you guys do want to watch those shorter ones, which at this point I don't think you guys do because you watch this entire one, I will have those shown to you guys at the beginning of the video. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.